Good evening and welcome to some more Link to the Past Randomizer League Week 6. So we have some cross keys going on with these weird boots that don't quite work properly. My name is Tracy and with me today is Drossi. How you doing, Drossi?
I'm good. I'm excited for this week. Honestly, I'm relieved to have swords back. That's the big thing.
Yeah, there was definitely some interesting things going on without the swords. And some just normal troll that didn't have anything to do with not having swords, but yeah. We got swords, we have fake boots, we have Fear Agent versus Maximum Barnage. The Divine Beastie Boys, #1 in their division. Bottles on Empty, I believe, are second place. So this is a big matchup.
Relevantly, both teams have already clinched a playoff spot, so they are just playing for seeding now.
Yeah, I imagine week 6, 30 points should do it.
Well, even
points.
24 did, just because of how the tiebreakers fall out.
Yep. Yeah, we got a Sank start from Fear, which got him some bombs, which is really nice.
And
same for Barnage could do the same thing.
Oh, Barnage didn't start his timer. So it goes.
Good luck. Yeah, sorry, Beer. I know you're doing the setup. You're not going to be able to sync these guys. Yeah, this is a pretty decent Sank start, though. I hate the castle Sank start.
Jumped right into the back of Escape there. That was kind of a lucky find. I didn't even see Barnage scout it. He just kind of went for it.
Yeah, I like this because he got bombs right away, so it makes sense. Big key to Turtle Rock. We may or may not need that, but good to have.
Oh, and the bush crabs are giving big 20s. That's a nice source of cash.
And wow, we've already found Pod, so no keys.
Well, I'm sitting right there in Lost Woods.
1 in logic check, 2 out of logic checks. We'll see who has their mimic clip working today. Looks like Fear does not feel like mimic clipping right now. It's so early. I imagine that, trying to do such a sequence break that takes a little bit of time. I'm not sure it makes sense to do it right now. We'll see if Barnage feels the same way. And I saw some sort of key, or maybe it was a map on Fear Agent's side. Going to Link's house. I was going to check the castle area. Nice full magic refill from Barnage, though. And more bombs. Nice to not have bombs as an issue early. Okay, pretty much useless stuff over at the castle. I actually didn't see what the drop down was, but it looks like Fear did not go down it, so.
So what's
Fear thinks to do the drop down. Okay, and there's Ganon.
Guess it's an Agaseed.
Oh, it's an Agaseed. Those are the worst. Like, give me Ganon vanilla every time, but Castle Tower Ganon, ugh.
Yeah, especially because, we're gonna have to find the 2 Castle Tower Smalls.
Have to find the Castle Tower Smalls, whereas climbing Ganon's tower is a big key, and, you can get away with 2 small keys.
Now Barnage starts his timer?
Well, that's not useful. Probably, yeah. Oh, he stopped it. Okay.
He just realized that maybe not.
But yeah, if it's, and then of course you don't have to make a decision on the climb if it's vanilla Ganon. But the Castle Tower Ganon, the items you can get in Castle Tower really right at the front. It's actually it's not uncommon to end up with a triple dip Castle Tower required.
Yeah.
Based on where those small keys end up when you have that particular.
Now that's interesting because the first big key we found was TR and TR's green pendant.
Yeah, that's not what you're hoping for. We do find a small key to GT, which is not that relevant. It's, because, GT, again, you don't need necessarily all 4 small keys.
And Barnage, now that he's found, now that he's found Ganon, he's just, going into all the drops.
Yeah, I like that. I like to do that once Ganon's found. There's the Smiths, which we don't, won't care about for a while.
Well, nice to know that the Smiths aren't too far off from their normal position, so,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
nice to have them at least in Kakariko. The Smiths always have to be in the light world, at least. But beyond that, they can be basically anywhere.
I just realized Sank's vanilla, isn't it?
No, it's at the woods.
Oh, right. Sorry, right. That's how they were able to get to the back of Escape. My bad.
No, there's Swamp for Barnage. Can't do anything in there for a while. Need both flippers and the dam. Ooh, there's a big key on the bottle vendor. It's the big key to Ganon's Tower. So far, our big keys are Green Pendant Turtle Rock and Ganon's Tower. Just the ones you want to find.
Ooh, early mini Moldorm Cave. That's always a nice way to collect items.
Also nice that Fear Agent has plenty of bombs for this. We have no other weapons. Also,
You were saying
no...
about flippers.
Yeah, well, we need those. Maybe. Heck, we don't know.
And
we don't know if we
two
need
hard
those.
contain. Oh, there's the dam.
That's a vanilla dam, isn't it?
Yes, and there was Pod Big also in Mini Moldorm.
Okay,
Hey,
first chest swamp, anyone?
I mean, the nice thing about Vanilla Dam is you can see what the flooded item is really quickly.
Yeah, immediately. Oh, there's a desert entrance for Fear Agent. That's a connector that he's probably going to want to come back to at some point, but not going to want to worry about it right now.
Chat asking about pseudo boots and opening the tree for Lumberjack, and well, Armo shake storage is a thing.
Yeah, I hope not to see. Yeah, we need the real boots to do pretty much anything that's progression-wise. So, knocking things off shelves, bonk rocks, those types of things, all need the real boots. Can't hover. Kana Samaria in the back of Tavern. A lot of stuff in Kakariko today, and Fear Agent is... I like that Fear Agent is going to Kakariko as early as... I see this with a lot of runners where they just don't want to get to Kakariko, and it's just such a dense area that I kind of like to see it done early, see what's there.
If he could just pick up some magic now, he could, use Samaria as a weapon and not have to rely on bombs.
Yeah, that would help. And we have a Quake, which is pretty useless. Without a sword. Oh, we're gonna buy bombs here.
There's Mimic Cave, which we'll have to remember to get back to with the hammer. I've definitely seen Mimic Cave make or break a race when, one runner finds it early and then forgets to go back once they get the hammer.
Oh, for sure. And this next mini Moldorm room in Paradox Cave is awful when you just have bombs. Fire Rod, if we had magic, we could use that.
I mean, we're getting all these nice weapons if we just had some magic.
Well, that's an important item, that Moon Pearl. And there's a small key to Castle Tower, which we know now is going to be hard required.
Hey, that guarantees it's not a triple dip.
Yeah, we're down to a double dip. And with the Fire Rod, we can even not do it in the dark. Now,
yeah, it doesn't put the second chest in logic, but...
Frankly, I'd rather do Aga Tower with a Fire Rod than some of the escape rooms. So, not that any of that's in logic in Cross Keys, since we still play under the old logic with the lamps for all the dark rooms.
And there's Ice Palace and CAC.
And there's a small key sitting there at the Magic Bat location, which is a nice to be determined. Hopefully the runners remember to go back to that. That location and the Vanilla Sank location are ones where the drop down can be orphaned and forgotten about. And you were talking about, Mimic Cave. Those are other two places where runners can just forget for a really long time to go back there once they actually have the hammer or the glove, depending on which one you're actually talking about.
Yeah. Or, we still haven't found any connectors to the Dark World. Maybe we wind up getting at that by a Mitz plus Mirror.
Yeah, first we need to actually take a connector. Looks like Barnage is going to check out this desert connector right now.
Oh, true. We, we did have we
Hi,
did
desert. Nice.
we
One
did find
exit
Paradox, but we didn't take the connector there.
Right. And we just saw Spiral Cave on Fear Asian side, though I imagine 4 hearts is probably good enough to go through that. It's a very dangerous connector when you don't have a sword or, like, literally any weapon to use.
And both runners saw that there's a big key on race game, so...
Yeah, can't get that for a while.
Well,
And
theoretically,
Barnage-
we just need a Dark World connector and a mirror. But
And Barnage, with
who knows
only
where
the
they are.
3 starting hearts, hasn't gotten any containers yet. Going through this Spiral Cave very carefully, using bombs for the mini Moldorms. Fear Agent, when he comes back for this, will be able to tank a little bit more damage since he's got a little more health there.
Well, there were 2 heart containers in Mini Moldorm Cave, and Barnage,
Barnage
has been in the vicinity of CAC, so he's like right there. He just hasn't been.
Yeah. He didn't. He decided to prioritize the desert checks instead of going to. That was worthless. Instead of going to the other CAC locations. And unfortunately, that Spiral Cave is one you can't ignore because it takes the TR bridge. We don't have a mirror yet, so there's an entrance there that can only be gotten by going back through Spiral Cave. And, you know, Beer's gonna find that too and get the same bad news. And then the other entrance that's there, it was absolutely nothing. So. Oh, hammer.
I guess we can check that key at Magic Bat now.
We can do Mimic Cave too. Oh yeah, right here at the right next.
Oh yeah, Sphere 1 hammer.
Yay! And not Sphere 1 glove. Over Lake Hylia. Oh, here's a great spot that we have near start. We can just farm some bombs here.
Yeah, so with a mirror-locked glove, we're probably gonna see mirror at some point. But then again, in cross keys, you never know whether you actually need both gloves.
Yeah, I imagine I could see. Okay, I'm not sure if Water Walk works with pseudo boots. You can sequence break that with Water Walk. You cannot sequence break that with fake flippers.
Okay, so Fear's about to discover Swamp, which means he'll probably grab that first chest.
You might.
Oh no, he has to find the dam first, but he's gonna get the dam, and then
Yeah, I could see him coming back for it.
Go back.
Bar's gonna head over to the desert area. I like this because it looks like Fear Agent was trying to set up a fake flipper and then realized, oh wait, I have flippers.
Fake flippering is really easy when you have the flippers. I've seen runners go to great lengths to set up fake flippers when they have the flippers. I've seen runners kern jump when they have the flippers.
So Barnage doing this area over by Eastern. There's no glove locked location, so you can definitely clear all the stuff. So it's kind of a nice thing to do before committing to orphaning a bunch of entrances, going to South Shore, either east or west, or either part of the south part of the world. We found Tower of Hera on Fear Agent's side, and a small key to
the
something.
potion shop entrance.
Yeah, neither runner did the traditional start with the fake flipper to potion shop and then do the drop down there. We haven't found the well yet. There's Magic Bat. This could be well behind GT, which is the worst.
And with the early Samaria, if we find mushroom, that could lead to a fake powder situation.
It could. Oh, there's the well. It's behind the glove. That's not so bad.
And hey, Mimic Cave had everyone's favorite item. The one that doesn't fit on this key sanity tracker.
Yep, got a bug net. I mean, there is a niche case where it is possible for the game to force you to climb Ganon's tower without a sword. And I'm here to tell you that, and I'm sure everybody from last week would agree, that you'd rather have the bug net than using the hammer for that, but that's extremely rare. So probably not going to matter. Fear needs to find his hammer in the first place.
Yeah, he just needs to do a Link's House start, which he did, but then he immediately went to Witch's Hut and saved and quit out of Hera.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't even get to the dam, which is unfortunate because he's got that check at Swamp that he can do. Let's find out
Yeah.
what this small key is. Okay.
That's 2 TR smalls we've seen already.
Yeah, it's not the small key you really want. Typically, Turtle Rock can be done with like one small key if you have the right entrances for it. Logically, there are things locked behind 4, and of course, it's a green pendant, so we kind of hope we don't have to full clear it anyway.
Right, you just wonder because of the early big key, and we've started to accumulate small keys, and we have a fire rod. We just need an ice rod and another couple of small keys. There's Fierce Hammer and Barnage's Cane.
The Trinex fight, I'd be very suspicious if I found Turtle Rock East. Fortunately, if you find Turtle Rock East, you can just be like, okay, this is an item cave. And pick up that big chest, and maybe you go to Crystal Roller for the other check. I suppose you could go down to Laser Bridge, which wouldn't be a terrible play, honestly, if you have that entrance. You have keys to do it with.
Fear discovers that glove. He's going to check Hobo since he actually has flippers.
Yeah, this is reasonable. Might even save and quit out of this. It's not a. I mean, he might swim over to the Zora area, but he doesn't have anywhere near Zora money, so may not want to do that yet. Barna's just gonna leave that Cane Samaria block, let it do its job. Just a compass. Although it's a compass, I always say if I'm gonna get one compass, that Ice Palace compass is by far the most useful, because I can't count Ice Palace to save my life.
Did I remember to do iced tea?
Yeah. Oh, I've skipped the which one is it? The H room, the one with the hammer locked.
Oh.
The hard hammer locked spot multiple times, and every time I've known I've skipped it, it's had something. I've probably skipped it in times that I've not known it had something. We only notice it if it's actually relevant. Well, Fear wants money. He might be thinking about that Zora play.
Yeah, because he went back and did a bush crab again, so he's definitely trying to farm a bit.
And Bart is still without flippers. Actually does the fake flipper. Interesting, the bonk setup works well enough without regular boots. I guess that makes sense because when you bonk into a screen transition, the screen doesn't actually transition. It'll gate you. So as long as that bonk is long enough to reach the screen transition, you're going to be fine.
You know, I was thinking, with this early hammer and we still haven't found a sword yet, hey, the runners got so much practice during Swordless Week.
Yep. I don't think Fear played Swordless Week.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if either of these guys played Swordless Week, but if they did...
I know Barnage did, because that was the negotiation on their team, was that he would play Swordless and Maniacal would play Invrosia, and the selling point for Maniacal playing Invrosia was the possibility of hovering to back a TR. So, which is something Maniacal would have loved to have actually had to do. So it's funny, Fear Agent's still missing the dam, Bart is still missing the actual flippers, but there's one item in Swamp suspiciously sitting there, already available, to the runners combined.
Yeah, I guess if we get the small key, too, we have the whole front up to the left side.
Yeah. That would be not fun. Yeah, Fear's still farming up money. I guess he decided to stop doing the arrow game. I mean, it's a lot of time, I think, to do that. Whereas you can just be doing other things and hopefully you get your money. And actually, he's getting really close with that bush crab.
Yeah, he really wants to do that Zora check.
And Barnage is back in Kakariko, so he'll be able to get his... Oh, flippers were here.
Yeah, and a couple of heart containers. Here, meanwhile, getting his bug net. I'm sure Gamachu will be very proud of him.
Yeah, we have the pod big key and we have pod available, but no small key. So big key
One
doesn't do
small
anything
key.
for us yet. Oh, we have one. Okay, we have a small key.
Yeah, you don't really want to go into pod with one small key if you can help it.
No, I mean if you want at least two. That'll get you to a. There's a bunch of stuff in logic with 2 small keys, and you can do a bunch of stuff out of logic with 2 small keys. Well, here's the castle.
Yeah, with 2, you generally open the middle door and then use the second small key to get to the back,
Right.
and then you have everything except vanilla big key, chest, harmless hellway, and the boss.
Yep. Available, not necessarily in logic. There's a bunch of stuff behind 4 small keys logically, but if you're going in there, you basically ignore that. Nice thing about the location of Sank is we don't have to worry about stealing the key here. We've already done the back of escape. Both runners in here at the same time.
Getting their first bottle.
Yeah, it's always nice to get that first bottle before you run into Sick Kid. Nothing worse than finding Sick Kid an hour and a half in, you still don't have a bottle. And yes, that's happened to me.
If you can name it, it's happened.
Yep. Small key to Hera, okay.
I was just thinking, though, it's too bad Leftovers and To Infinity and Pagog played each other last week, because if they played each other this week, we'd get to see, like, Dazed Cloud versus Humbug, and then it would be like, can they both finish in under an hour and a half?
All right, yeah. I'm willing to bet those guys will be playing this week, just not each other.
Oh, interesting technique there by Barnage with the fire rod. I'm not sure I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't think he really wanted to kill the green guard, but he'll just use a bomb to death warp instead. Sometimes that green guard just gets in your way to the point where it's just easier just kill him and use that bomb though.
Yeah, for fear of the green guard staying away, so he'll just walk into him afterwards. And the fire rod does put Dark Cross in logic here.
No, not in cross keys, it doesn't.
No? Oh, right. It doesn't use advanced logic and entrance rando.
I think you still do it though.
Yeah.
Especially in Barnage's case where he's got plenty of fire rod shots. Fear Agent going to use that green potion. So
just
he has
like
some fire rod shots.
Laser Bridge still logically requires either the mirror shield or an invincibility item.
Right. And Laser Bridge is I'm pretty glad that Cross Keys doesn't have that advanced logic, especially for Laser Bridge. Trying to do a logical Laser Bridge with laser skips with 3 hearts is not my idea of fun. Give me enough hearts and it's like whatever, because every time you die, you just spawn right there at the start anyway. But like because in a regular mode, you're not even getting to laser. By the time you get to Laser Bridge, if you don't have enough hearts to handle that, you somehow missed all the items. I don't know. Oh, pod small keys. We got another one of those. Might see our runners go back there sooner rather than later. That's an important connector. Not a very important compass, though. No mirror to check out the Light World version of Bumper Ledge. And that's an important location. We have Aga Tower, which, for those of you that missed it, these runners are going to have to go through this tower and complete it, because Ganon is at Lumberjack.
And they did both find the first key, so no reason not to grab the 2 items now.
Other than you're going to have to do a double dip, but we'll just use the fire rod.
I mean, it's relatively quick with the fire rod, though. Barnage has to watch his magic. Fear is a bit better on the magic meter side.
Yeah, well, Barnage could use his green potion if he had to. And it's just bombs. And Death Warping in the Dark is everybody's favorite game.
I didn't actually catch where the entrance was in terms of how annoying it will be to get back to
the lumberjack hut in the Dark World.
Oh, Dark World side, so yeah.
Yeah. So the Hyrule Castle took them to the bumper ledge.
Yeah.
Which at some point they're going to have to do again because they're going to need to mirror. I mean, they may not need to. Mirror doesn't necessarily have to be required. But does like to show up and have things behind it.
The other nice thing about that early fire rod is, since we're right near Skull Woods now, we can do that and check the back entrance.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of waiting on the Skull Woods area till you have at least one of the big key or the fire rod. Because you'd hate to have to go back there 3 times. And you know, we'll see if they, you know, because Skullwoods has some layouts where you're just going to orphan yourself and have to save and quit. We'll see if they're runners. If we have one of those layouts, we'll see if that is an issue. And there's there's our last Hyrule Castle entrance, so we are basically done with Hyrule Castle, except whenever the runners decide to go after they get the mirror and go after the Light World bumper ledge. Funny question in chat. Where are the boots? Drosy, where are the boots?
The boots are on your feet, numpty? No, these are the pseudo boots on your feet, numpty.
Yeah. We have not found real boots yet. Okay, looks like Barnage is going to go for the Skullwoods area. We'll see how much of the sea clears out. So far, not the good layout, but, you know, still 50-50 on the other side of this. Like, Fear Agent can do the same. So nice to have that Canis Mario for that room.
Yeah, especially since we still don't have a sword. I mean, yeah, you can burn through stuff. Oh, and Barnage is remembering that there is a full magic container there.
Yeah, it's
always a very useful pickup to remember if you happen to be in that area and out of magic. I'm sure Fear will do the same.
Huh. I'm surprised he did not check the other entrance. This drop down is just going to take him right back to where he was. You could check the other entrance now and see if it goes.
Yeah, maybe Fear will. Yeah, it looks like Fear is.
Fear's gonna go ahead and check this. It is we're not the back.
Okay, so time to check the back, which is not necessarily the back of Skullwoods.
It is Sick Kid.
Good thing we got bottles.
Another pod small key for Barnage. That's 3 now.
So now a pod dip's starting to look more attractive. I mean, we have bottle, so we can do potion glitch too. Right side not in logic, but I mean, it's a lot nicer than thinking about mimic clipping.
Okay, and this will always be a small key to Skullwoods.
Yeah.
Also, by doing it this way, Barnage will have to burn one of his keys. This way, I guess he's burning it going in, so you're gonna have to burn a key regardless.
And there's Barnage's 4th pod small. Fear's 3rd as Fear's about to get his 4th. In, I think, the next chest.
And the game is starting to call for pod.
I mean, if we really do some crazy routing, we could full clear the dungeon on 4 smalls.
Yeah, you'd have to never open the front door. Which, given Pod's location, that makes no sense. I could get behind a... Oh no, Fear. I could, he's there. He needs that small key for when he finds the back of Skullwoods. Otherwise, he has to find a Skullwoods small key.
Yes, and I have specifically seen Fear lock himself out of the back of Skullwoods in a key sanity mode before.
Yeah, we don't need that. But yeah, if we happen upon Pod with 4 small keys in a bad spot that you never want to go to again, I can get behind doing the long traversal of having to go down the Bollock side like 3 times to full clear the dungeon. But Pod is right by the Sank start spot.
Yeah.
So you most likely orphan the big key chest, and then when you get that extra Pod small, you just go back and do that. Or you can even save scum it and just reset if it's nothing, and because it probably is. Okay, both runners out of the Skullwoods area now. And we'll head over to Village of Outcasts. It's nice we don't have to leave the Hammer House behind here. See, there's that Turtle Rock big chest. And it's a big key for ice. Okay,
nothing like a big key and a big chest, right?
Probably logically required. Probably not hard required.
But that's also, a chest you're not orphaning once you do Ice Palace.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather, if I'm going to find the ice big key, I want to find it before I actually go in.
I mean, with our loadout, we could full clear ice if we found it. Maybe not logically, but we could.
Not yet. We need a glove.
No. Oh, right. That's the problem with entrance modes, because you never have that... Oh, no. Fear got himself locked.
Yeah, just a couple bombs.
Yeah. I've seen Relkin get himself out of this mess, but it is tough.
Oh, no!
Oh, Fear released the fairy! And...
Oh, no! I don't think he has enough bombs to kill himself. I think he has to save and quit at this point. I mean, it is possible to get yourself out of this, but...
You have to punt the block just right.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate. Oh my god.
You have to kick it is the thing. And Fear's trying. He's,
Yeah, I think
building up
at this point
dust.
You just have to call it. And, interesting that Barnage is going up Turtle Rock first. I mean, I don't think it really matters. I kind of like the laser bridge play just because that's 4 items versus... well, I guess this is also... No, this is 3 because it's the one he just picked up. No, we have Fire Rod. We can do all of it. So
yeah,
it's
we got the whole front.
We got the whole front. So either way... either way is fine.
The problem... Whenever you take an unfortunate death, or, soft lock and cross keys, is you have to think, do I want to go back there, or do I want to just cut my losses?
So we got a lamp in Chain Chomp, so that's nice. We don't have to worry about dark rooms anymore, or at least Barnage doesn't. We'll see if Fury Agent comes back here and does the same thing. Looks like Fury Agent is going to just do some South Dark World checks and maybe come back to Turtle Rock later. Oh, hi Misery Mara that we can't do because we don't have real boots or a hook shot. Rupee Room if we want them. Fear at 491. He could have gotten to that Zora money if he'd picked up the rupees there. Barnage passing the IQ test and remembers to go the correct way to actually light the torches. I fail this all the time. Map to Hera, oof, and arrows. Nothing of worth there. And at 2.5 hearts, he still has 1 more check to make, so he's got to be a little bit careful and probably wants to check the entrance too.
Yeah, you never know where that entrance is gonna dump you. Small key on Pyramid.
Is it a useful small key? It is a very useful small key, but no
So,
shot. I don't know if Fear Agent. Oh, he still hasn't found the dam yet, which is
yeah,
at the dam.
as I was saying earlier, though, we can do swamp up to left side. We just
We
can't do
can.
the back. But yeah, so weird that Fear decided to prioritize taking the whirlpool to potion shop entrance over checking dam entrance.
So this is interesting. Fear finding laser bridge. So he has another chance of doing the Turtle Rock stuff if he wants to do it. Blue mail.
That's a nice find. Oh, and high five and laser bridge.
Yep. And yeah, I feel like I'm pretty certain he took that last laser shot on purpose. They have a little bit more health coming out of here. Is not going to continue though. I imagine he'll continue to do the other parts of.
I'm surprised he didn't,
later.
at least go back to Crystal Roller Room because.
Oh, did he not get the item? I guess he.
No, he never
right.
opened
No,
that
right.
chest, and that would have been an easy enough backtrack.
Yeah, and going the normal direction in the rail maze isn't very hard if you know what you're doing, but going backwards in the rail maze is trivial because all you have to do is hold up.
Yeah.
And you get through. It's very easy. Yeah, he was stuck there. Wall kicks, that is exactly what happened.
Yes, thank you, Wallkicks, for reminding everyone exactly what Fear managed to do
I'm
there.
sure if Fear watches this back, he will appreciate the reminder that is what happened. For now, the only things he's missing out of that is the lamp, and he might not have gone up anyway. He might have gone down. Oh, Link
Force is saying
says...
Fear did open it. Okay, my bad.
Okay. It's weird that he got stuck after opening.
Yeah, it's not a normal route because, like, otherwise wouldn't you just open it and then continue? Oh, right.
It's just right there. We're just being dumb. We're just being extremely dumb. Yeah, of course he got the chest. Yeah, we know this game. Yeah, Super Bunny. From the
Sorry,
bad
I
side,
was
looks like
mentally
it takes-
visualizing the chest location in Chain Chomps.
Yeah,
Because
I
Chain
just
Chomps
followed
had
that.
the lamp, so Chain Chomps was on my mind since that's the most important item we've found in TR so far.
I mean, literally that and the big chest having the ice big key,
which may or may not be important.
Yeah, I mean, it's logically important. For
right, I guess and both of these runners, since they have the fire rod, are perfectly well capable of doing the game without the lamp, but it's never something you hate to see.
It's like Fear Agent finally having gotten that Zora money is going to spend some of it in order to check out the pod entrance.
Looks like Barnage will join him, though Barnage is nowhere near Zora money.
Yeah, Barnage has not been farming the bush crabs nearly as much, nor did he play the arrow game anytime.
And since chat's asking about the MSU, Fear is using Zelda and Chill 2.
Yeah, I decided we needed a slightly more chill. I was getting anxious for Barnage's MSU.
You didn't like the intensity of Ninja Gaiden?
No.
Yeah, it's getting late.
And yeah, the $110 just getting us the fortune teller. Hey, Fear's gonna go into the dam. We'll see if he goes into swamp now. It's right here. Yeah, we have nothing to get around those blocks. We have to actually push him.
Yeah, moment of hesitation on Fear's part.
No hook shot to clip, no mirror to delete.
Oh, and look at where Barnage is going.
Yeah, I like this.
This is the pod play.
The game has been telling us pod might be a thing. Did the muscle memory thing of almost checking the first chest. You're getting some of his money back, going after that 20. see if he goes... Not going straight back. Looks like he's going to farm up to Zora money again, maybe head over and follow those flippers the other way.
At the rate Fear's going, I'm surprised you didn't grab a fish and see what the fish prize was.
Oh yeah, we don't see that very often. So Barnage is going to do big key chest here. You know, maybe he could still reset if this is... I don't know when his last save... If he saved and quit into this, and he probably did, he could reset this if it's nothing. And it's nothing. Okay, he's going to just keep it.
Yeah, you're basically ditching Harmless Hellway, but hey, there's our first sword in Pod Basement.
Yeah, I kind of like the leaving Harmless Hellway better if you don't have a big key, because then you have 2 items in the back. Yeah, you can't bonk that. We don't have real boots. Although, to be fair, we're almost 40 minutes in, and I think that's the first time I saw either runner do a bonk when it wasn't going to work. So, shout outs to taking that long before forgetting that these aren't real boots. Zora ledge with a small key.
Gotta get that.
And Barnage uses that green goo in order to go ahead and get the mimics out of the way. And rewarded with 20 bucks. And rewarded with a piece of heart. Fear Agent reward with 20 bucks from Zora. Not much of a refund. We'll get this small key. Skullwood small. Okay, I mean, I don't hate it. When you find the back of Skullwoods, you don't have to kill the mummy, but not really what you're hoping to find there. This looks like swamp.
Yeah. Now, this is going to be interesting, and I feel like if you're going to the trouble of going in here, you do left side.
Well, especially now that we see it's a pendant.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, it says P. Yes. How about that?
No,
that would tell us that it's a pendant.
Check. I mean, I find with the letters there, I do fewer and fewer map checks in cross keys. And interesting, Barnage using his last key, so he's gonna have to find a small key in order to finish this dungeon. Unless he resets everything away, which he still could. Like, the only thing he's really found is that sword, and he could choose to reset and just quickly go back and get the swords. There's nothing in these last...
I mean, I guess he doesn't have a bow, so he's probably hoping that, you know, the game's handed so many pod smalls that by the time he gets a bow, he'll have gotten the 5th small.
Yep, now you gotta keep that powder. So probably not gonna reset all this away. That's a little bit too far out of the way to have to go back to a 3rd bottle. Because we need 3 bottles.
And we haven't even found the potion shop.
I know, we can't even refill them. Haven't found a fairy cave or a potion shop, yeah.
Well, with the powder, we can now powder anti-fairies and use the bug net that we have.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's a thing we can do. And I doubt we'll see anyone do. And Barnage also going to head into Swamp and find out it's a pendant. There's another Turtle Rock small key. Yeah,
number 3, right?
Yep, chat saying it's unlikely that Barnage will end up in pod small key go mode. I agree. It is a thing I've seen happen, so I'm not gonna discount it. But yeah, probably gonna just find a pod small key in an on-path spot and be fine.
I'm kind of surprised there wasn't a pod small in pod.
I mean, that happens all the time, right?
You practically expect it.
Yep. And we have to do left side the old-fashioned way because we don't have a hook shot to do it otherwise. And we have to get a little creative with hitting this switch. I mean, in Fear Agent's case, he doesn't even have a sword to hit the switch. In Barnage's case, his fighter sword will be just a pixel too short to actually hit the switch without the blocks being changed. And Barnage also getting that Turtle Rock small key.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued. We are 1 TR small and Ice Rod away from Trinex being in Logic, and that's Green Pendant.
Yeah. And I believe we saw Saha, did we?
That's how we found out what Green Pendant
right,
was.
Of course. Of course, the worst thing about left side swamp without a hook shot is you have to fall down one side. Go back up. Gotta be careful of these little guys.
Yeah, Fear's down to 1.5 hearts.
Yes, Swamp has a tendency to kill you with good cuts and scrapes because nothing does a ton of damage, but everything does a little bit of damage, and you tend to take a lot of small damage here.
Even with Blue Mail.
But he's fine now. And probably just gonna, I mean, considering how close this is to Link's house, you can just save and quit and be fine.
Did Fear turn off low health beeps altogether?
He must have, because he should be beeping.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of runners very reasonably set it to half or quarter speed, but I haven't seen too many runners who just turn it off altogether.
Yeah, I think the default on the randomizer site is half, and I know there are some people that like vanilla heart beeps just because that's what they're used to running NMG. And then there's weirdos like Aussie, and I think Tam's another one that just likes to do the double heart beeps.
Well, it's an incentive not to let your health get low.
There you go. And we're gonna finally take these connectors over at Paradox. Oh, that's completely useless.
Chat asking, the sword that Barnage has was in pod basement.
Yeah, Fear Agent has not gone to pod yet. Maybe hoping to find one more small key or a bow before he goes. Save and quit from Fear. Maybe he'll head over to pod now. Running out of things in other places. Could also do the front of Turtle Rock if he wants to take that connector.
Well, with the Sank start, pod would seem like a reasonable play.
That's right.
No!
Here. That's not where he's going, though. And Barnage also getting nothing out of Skullwood. Sorry, out of Swamp, so... We're gonna go back to the... I think this is gonna be Turtle Rock for Fear. He'll do the...
Well, maybe he'll get his lamp.
Maybe it's a nice item. There are definitely worse things to pick up. Looks like Barnage, in the meantime, is gonna do the other flipper checks. Not sure if this is faster to deal with going to that connector or the one on Bumper Ledge. They're both kind of equally icky. But at least that one, the Bumper Ledge one, is annoying because you have to be very careful when you jump off, and you really need to be holding left as you do. Otherwise, you will get hit by the Murderdactyl. That's no fun. Also, I guess we didn't actually check the rest of these. Yeah, because Barnage would have been spit out at the front? No, he didn't go to Laser Bridge. He went to the front. I don't remember where that is. And there's Blind's Hut. I don't know that we've seen this. 5 items just sitting here and chilling, waiting for us to pick them up. And a bow! Okay, so Fear Agent somewhat rewarded by holding off on Pod. Now has a bow to just do the right side in logic and very easily. The good news for Barnage is that since he's already done that right side, he doesn't have to hurry back to it. Also, it looked like Barnage was about to go to the Zora area. Didn't have enough money, so he went back, used that Whirlpool to get some money, and He's probably gonna do that after he does this Ice Rod Cave area check. And Fear Agent with bad Ice Rod Cave. As Barnage finds Hype Cave in the real Ice Cave, Ice Rod Cave.
And is now up 2 swords to none.
Canna Burna. Nice safety. Okay, Fear Agent's gonna get his lamp. And we see a connector. The Brothers connector. That's convenient. Of course, it'd be more convenient if you had a mirror to get back. Or a glove even to pick up the rock and get back. You could flip her out and we checks.
Yeah, we still don't have any signs of how to get a glove. I mean, a mirror would give us that glove on Hylia Island.
Yeah, if someone could in chat that knows better if water walking is possible with pseudo boots. I actually don't know. I played with pseudo boots once to make sure I knew what they were like. And I didn't like them. Mostly, my issue with pseudo boots are twofold. One, in entrance, since we can't auto-track entrances, that's a lot of entrance tracking, which is harder to do when you're running instead of walking. The other issue is, there's Fear Agent's lamp. The other issue is that kind of turns the boots into a fetch quest.
That's interesting. Fear didn't want to do the 3 front chests.
Well, I mean, we know there's nothing there, so he's not missing out on anything. Probably wants to find it from the front and just do it then. Or if he gets the Ice Rod, maybe he kills Trinex and just gets warped there and does it at that point, which is, you know, a pretty reasonable play.
Yeah, I think if the Ice Rod shows up, you have to go kill Trinex just because the game threw so much TR stuff at us.
Yep. Okay, I'm seeing in chat that we cannot water walk with pseudo boots. I imagine if we could, and the runners knew that, one of them at least would have done it by now. Apparently we can item dash, though. Of course, I'm talking about that as if that was a possibility. It's the mirror missing, not the flippers.
So speaking of that Ice Rod...
Yeah, we're missing the mirror. You can't sequence break around the mirror. It's the flippers we would have sequence broken around. So that all that stuff about water walking, so irrelevant. It's not even funny.
So Tracy, mirror on Sahasrahla?
Oh, that's really gross.
I know it's not.
Do that.
It's not technically in logic until we find the 4th TR small, but still.
I mean, you might as well just put it on Trinex as well. Like that's equally bad. Okay, we're seeing as the runners are cleaning up South Dark World at the same time.
No, I actually really want to see Green Pendant turn in now.
Oh, hey, Fear Agent right near where one of his swords is, but without a mirror can't get it from here.
As we say in New England, you can't get there from here. Yeah, Fear, you can't lift that rock.
I mean, he's probably going to take that connector and realize he doesn't ever have to pick up that rock at some point, but... Yeah, it never feels good to be dashing around without a sword. It's another bad part about the pseudo boots, but that's an issue with regular boots too. Also, both runners making nice use of that whirlpool. to get this fairly orphaned check. Now, the really orphaned check, of course, is when does anyone go back for catfish when we don't have glove right now to pick up the rock? Yeah, and the fairy giving us a bee back in our bottle, which not very useful. Okay, this might be Pod for Fear Agent now that he has that bow. So that'll get him one of his swords. The other one is in the Ice Rod Cave area at Hype Cave. Okay, this time with Fear Agent, I get to shout out the new Super Metroid ROM hack version that uses this song that Fear has on Pod right now. So I can make the joke that it's not Link to the Past music, it's Subversion or Metroid music on
this is
Link
like
to the Past ROM.
The chillest piece in there, though.
This is really chill. Like, I don't know why Pod gets the chillest one, but it's very chill. And Fear now gets his sword. I don't know if he'll feel that bad about getting it now. It's not that much later, and he does have the bow to do all this stuff. Noticing that he also did not open the big key chest, so he's gonna probably realize he can come back for that later if he wants it.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably just decide based on whether he's found the 5th small key by the time he has a bow.
Yep. Oh, and he could finish this. Yeah. He's just gonna go to the back and finish this. Barney should not have this option without the bow. Orange gets his bow, and he cannot finish Pod at the moment because he did use all his small keys. So this could be a big moment if there's a big item on Helmasaur. Also half of our Pyramid Fairy combo, but Eastern Palace we have not seen yet, and we don't have a big key for it anyway.
And Eastern Big is one of the several ice rods in Key Sanity modes.
Yeah, most dungeons big keys are your ice rods. Swamp Small is one, and then you have the fetch quest keys like Harris Small. Swamp Big is another one of those.
Yeah. I mean, Swamp Small isn't quite Ice Rod level because it blocks almost the entirety of Swamp.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
But yeah, definitely a lot of the big keys block either 1 or 2 checks. It just seems like Eastern and Desert are always the ones that never want to show up.
Now, chat saying Pyramid Fairy was the Turtle Rock front. I did not see when. I know Barnage left that way, and I know he ended up in that area, so that might actually be the case. In which case, the red crystals are irrelevant. Which is always nice to not have to worry about getting that red bomb. And our tracker Link Force, who's always on top of things, says that's correct. And just 20 rupees on Helmasaur, so.
And that is our first crystal grab at nearly the hour mark.
And we're about to get our first pending grab.
Well, this is the part that I'm going to be excited about because, you know, green pendant turn and watch it be the mirror.
Fear's going to go back in and clear up most of the rest of Pod. I imagine he'll skip this big key chest. It's not exactly the coziest Try Next fight ever, with the Master Sword and and hammer strats. And not a whole lot of magic. If he had a little bit more magic, he'd probably be better off just spamming the fire rod, but I'd be hesitant to do that when you're kind of running out of shots there. But he does have a little bit extra after he finishes the ice head. Let's first see what Trinex drops. Well, that's not interesting. Just some bombs.
Hey, Fear, just run off the bridge, why don't you?
I mean, it happens.
Yeah, so if this Turtle Rock dive was pointing to anything besides the lamp, it's on the green pendant.
Yeah, there you go. That is the front of Turtle Rock right there in that Pyramid Fairy entrance.
So we definitely don't need to worry about the big bomb.
Well, if Fear Agent doesn't ever go that direction, he might check it.
I mean, I suppose it depends if he goes and beats Trinex.
Yeah. Yeah, if his plan is to beat Trinex to get to the front of Turtle Rock, he's going to be sadly disappointed that he can't go back in.
Oh! That was a wild goose chase for nothing.
That was a very odd-looking mirror.
Why the heck did the game give us all that unless something's on PED?
Yeah, I mean... Well, give us a hook shot, like... That.
Right, if something were on PED, we'd have the hook shot, and we don't even know what the third pendant is.
Yep. Yeah. Again, nobody checking maps, but, you know, with the letters, it kind of makes the map check irrelevant most of the time until you're really close to trying to figure out whether you're in go mode. And these runners are nowhere close to that right now. Like, they're both going to head out this... Oh, we have not seen this exit. They're both going to check this out. And we find the top of Hyrule Castle. And, oh no. We have to come back later. That's a big key that we need sitting on the library. And
I mean, let's just hope it's like Swamp or Skullwoods or something.
Yeah, well, if we come back for it, we don't want it to be Swamp or Skullwoods, because that would be really annoying to come all the way back for it and have it be Swamp or Skullwoods. If we don't ever come back for it, then let it be one of those.
Maybe we'll have Mirror by then. Mirror by the time we get Boots, and then we can just get there from Pyramid.
Yeah, that would be a decent way to do that.
Especially since we do have to beat Aga at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the ideal time to do it, is after you've beaten Aga. Once you have the ability to do it, I guess it doesn't, in this case, it really doesn't matter. You can just do it whenever. The runners might just do it last. We've already checked the 2 chests.
Oh, and here's our Magic Bat check from Barnage. As Fear finds ice, though, as we've discussed, can't actually beat it without a glove.
Yeah, I hope he remembers that.
He'll realize it soon enough when he gets to H room.
Yep. I mean, he'll be able to do 6 checks, 5 of them in logic, so it's a pretty dense location right now.
And hey, he has the compass to remind him how many checks he's doing.
That's right. I'm telling you, Ice Palace is the one you want the compass for. This is a good room to use Quake in. He decides to do bomb strats instead. Chat suggesting that he's getting a glove here. No. I mean, come on. You really think he's not going to have to double dip ice? It's probably going to be the mirror. Or maybe a hook shot.
We're just gonna call everything as a mirror. Actually, why don't I get a prediction in chat of whether we find a mirror or acquire the other glove first.
Also of note is gonna go ahead and do this the old-fashioned way, because we don't have a small key. And without a small key, you will be soft-locked going down the right side, unless there happens to be a small key there. Now, what he could do, and a play I like, but I like it better with a mirror than having to death warp, he could steal that key that he just picked up I also wouldn't. I would have not done the bomb jump here, assuming that I'm not finishing this dungeon, and then be very sad when. Actually, you know what? You can still finish the dungeon, because you have a can of Samaria to finish it with, if you do happen to find.
Well, that Harris Small turns out to be another dead end.
Yep, fetch quest Harris Small. See if Barnage also goes to Ice Palace.
Link Force is very excited about the prospect of finding a glove.
We found a big key. Okay, I mean, gets a good big key to find.
Small and big, we can beat Thieves Town if we find it. Full clear it.
Of note, Fear Agent has 0 bombs right now. So I hope he doesn't plan on doing any bomb jumps. On the ones he's already done. Okay, Barner's gonna go ahead and spend his Zora money.
Now,
his extra skull with small.
If you're feared, do you do Icebreaker chest out of logic? Or do you just, at this point, ditch ice after doing iced tea?
I mean, honestly, with the way the dungeon is set up, and with him having 0 bombs right now to get over to that side of the dungeon, to the right side, I think it might actually be faster to... Well, now that he's got the mirror, it'd definitely be faster to mirror out and just go do those 2 right side checks if he wants to do them. He's just not going to do them. I told you the mirror would be here. They're not going to let the runners single dip Ice Palace. And I'll tell you, that mirror, I have multiple times found a mirror in that exact location, so...
Well, that will get us a glove, if nothing else.
Yeah, I imagine Fear Agent probably going to go head over to the Dark World here. I believe this will spit him out in the South Dark World, and he can just go get his mirror right now.
Oh, and there's a big key on Race Game that we can now get.
Glove. Yeah, so go get the glove that you can get, and then... Actually, you do the Race Game first. Because you can't come back from that mirror spot at Lake Hylia. Or you just don't care. No, we got hammer. Never mind. You can absolutely go back. It's the glove we're missing, not the hammer. You pick up this glove, and then you go back up, go north, hit the hammer pegs there. Wait for the iframes to run out so the mirror portal works again. Right, we did also have Spiral Cave in that same vicinity of that big key that the runners can do. Oh, should be amusing. Fear Agent's gonna see the connector from the other side with that glove. Oh no, but he doesn't have any bombs! He can't go across it! Oh no, this is so bad. Because this was the brother's connector, and he needs a bomb to open that. So bad. Oh well, he's gonna find it from the other direction. This is fun. Or is he? I forget which one it was. Whether it was the bomb hole or the regular one. Oh hey, there's a drop. He's fine. Okay, we find Spectacle Rock Cave. We already know where this spits out, so he doesn't have to follow the connector unless he wants to do the out-of-logic connection. He's going to pick up this cave. We've not seen Bumper Cave yet, so you don't want to skip this. Oh, and Barnage went and did the right size. I saw something to Dark Pod. Was okay to Pod. It was.
Oh, so there's the 5th pod small, so he can now finish Pod at least.
Yep, anytime he wants, he can go do that. I think he's going to do that right now.
Like now. I mean, he still doesn't have a crystal, so.
Oh, you just.
Fear has no bombs for Hype Cave.
Yeah, I think this. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that.
Okay, there we go.
Barnage, I do not believe, got the mirror.
No, Barnage icebreakered and locked himself out, I believe. Yeah. Because as we discussed, he had no small key to go any further, having icebreakered without a glove.
Yeah, I imagine he might have gone back in. His plan might have been to death warp and just go back in, but then since he got the pod small, probably decided that I'll just go finish pod first, and then I can come back to ice.
And since we haven't seen the other glove, as far as we know, that glove is locked by the mirror.
Yep. I mean, trying to think what other locations there could be a glove that we've not seen. We're kind of running out of non-mirror checks. And Fear Age is going to find out that Magic Mat has nothing for us today.
I mean, in Fear's case, he could use those bombs.
You know, you are absolutely right. Actually, it's kind of funny because he was calling the race earlier today, and one of the runners found the fairy upgrade cave, and he was critical of them not picking up those extra bombs. And I bet he wishes he'd found the fairy upgrade cave today in his race, because I know he would have picked up those extra bombs. He's like, give me those 15 bombs.
Oh, and if you're remembering, we do now have Pack Well.
Yeah, I like the way he's routing all this in, too. So far, nothing interesting here. Still nothing interesting. Still nothing interesting. And still nothing interesting.
I guess next check, Death Mountain Ascent entrance?
Yeah, I mean, it's right on path. Fear Agent still hasn't done the TR, finished TR for that green pendant, so he might get suckered into doing that.
Answer chat, the only particular disadvantage Barnage is at is that he didn't do the chests in Ice Palace that were in Logic, so he'll need to go back in there to get his mirror. Otherwise, the runners are pretty even, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't even think the small key to pot that he got was in Logic, because we have no small keys to Ice or any hook shot to get over there the intended way, so... And Fear Agent's gonna go finish Ice Palace. I mean, again, unless that glove is, oh, and somewhere along the line he picked up an Ice Palace small. But yeah, unless the other glove is just available somewhere, this was a required double dip.
Are you sure that wasn't an Ice Palace small that he got on the under the pot on the way to Ice Tea?
No, that's a really good point. In fact, he probably was. Well, I was correct that he picked up an Ice Palace small key somewhere. I mean, the statement is still true.
Like, well, I'm pretty sure he grabbed that, and I don't know where he would have spent it, so...
Link Force, are you doing the Fear Agent side of things? We have Lady Lauralinda on one side. I don't know who's tracking what, but poor Link Force. Yeah, I'm trying to confuse you on purpose. No, I'm not. Okay, so let's see what this item is. Hey, look, he just
Fear Agent picked up another Ice Palace small key.
I'm a little concerned about his magic, though. With no bombos to save magic and no half.
I'm a little concerned about these runners' health with, 12 hearts and blue mail.
It's okay, Sarah. They're allowed to call me out when I make mistakes. Link Force does do it all the time.
But yeah, remember that the runners do have a green goo from one of their bottles.
I'm pretty sure they both used it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, and pod to potion glitch? Oh, right.
Used it to potion glitch.
Right, so what's Fear's plan then?
Fear used it
Sword beams if he gets a little bit more magic here.
He doesn't have enough. He needs a half bar. This is not going to give him a half bar of magic. If he'd maybe he might have
that might just barely. I mean, it's either a half or like a tiny fraction under a half, and I guess we'll find out.
Because he used the powder to get full health, and that might have. We're about to find out.
That last one was just too late.
Yeah,
because he had 4 shots, but his fourth sword beam came off too late.
For the most part, I find that strat fairly easy. But to actually get it so that you can have exactly half a magic bar, I think is a little bit difficult. Usually when I do it with lots of magic and just save some. It's like, you know, I'll do it like in 5 or 6 shots. It's really I very rarely do it in 4.
So now Fear is making what we know is going to be a bit of a wasted trip to Harmless Hellway.
No, it's Big Key Chest for him.
Oh, Big Key. I can't remember who did which. Either way, wasted trip, but at least this takes less time.
Yeah, which is typically the reason why you leave this one, not the other. What I
trying to get his mirror.
Yep. So he's gonna. So I mean, Fear Agent still, I would say, has a slight lead here. I mean, it's way too early to. I should say not a lead. I like to say advantage. There's still way too much game to play to call it anything more than that. But yeah, he's not gonna feel good about what just happened at Ice Palace. And Barnish with a lot more bombs. Has bomb jump options. Oh, but the bomb jump he did right there wasn't gonna do him any good because he doesn't have a small key to open the iced tea chest. Oh, jeez. So he's gonna have to go around this way instead.
Speaking of which, I wonder if we find that hook shot.
Oh, there's a big key. Oh, big key to Meyer.
Which we have not.
We saw Meyer.
Oh, did we?
Saw Meyer. Yeah.
Oh, so we can now do it then.
Not without a hookshot or real boots.
Oh, right.
I want to say it was.
You never think about that problem of, you know, getting past the first screen.
I want to say it was Hype K. It was definitely in that general area.
Hey, Tracy. Guess what? Maximum Barnage just found an Ice Palace small key.
Woohoo! He's gonna find another one when he comes back with the glove.
Not happy about that mirror situation.
What is...
Did Fear not do the second chest, and did he get killed on the way to it or something?
I don't recall.
Oh yeah, Link Force is saying he did die in the dark maze here
so
before getting to the
here's that triple
chest.
dip we were talking about.
Well, the game isn't requiring you to die.
Nope. Okay, so let's see where Fear Agent goes next.
Still no sign of Thieves Town, has it been? And we haven't really explored Death Mountain, though we now do have access to the Mimic Cave entrance.
We're gonna do Graveyard Ledge here. I really want to see the mirror checks near race game and dig game. There's a mirror to get the big key, and then there's an entrance you can get there too. I imagine that maybe where Barnage is going right now, and I imagine Fear Agent might do it right after this. Yeah, this could also be Catfish for Fear. Or not. So Catfish, relatively orphan for both players. That's the closest Fear Agent's likely to be to Catfish anytime in the near future.
Ooh,
that is
Eastern Big.
We gotta find Eastern, though.
Right. We haven't found Eastern. We haven't found Thieves. We haven't found Back of Desert or Back of Skull.
Yeah, could all be behind. Could be amidst somewhere. And
we haven't found
GT
that. Either.
Haven't found GT. Wouldn't mind not ever finding GT, honestly.
I mean, the thing about GT is it has fully 1/8 of the checks in the game.
I know, right? It's 27 items. Another bottle with a B. I think that's all 4 bottles for Barnage. I haven't found a potion shop to put actually something useful in them. Okay, Bar's gonna pick up his glove now. Now, I don't know when either one of these guys gets back to finish up Ice Palace. Barnage has only 2 checks left there, including the boss, and Fury just has the boss. And of course, we don't even know if Ice Palace is a pendant or a crystal. I think Barnage may be doing catfish right now, though. Ah, yes. TR Bridge. We have a bunch of stuff we can do here. Well, maybe not a bunch. We've already seen Light World East Death Mountain, so... But we do get 2 extra checks over here with the mirror. Oh, hi, we have Bumper Ledge, or Bumper Cave. Which, I imagine Fear Agent will follow this after he checks this other entrance. If it goes to somewhere, that's a really nasty chain. Oh, God. I think you just buy 4 potions of blue right now and hope to never, ever, ever use them and never have to come back here. Of course, we don't have a mushroom yet, so you might be forced to come back here. Okay, you bought 3. That's a good number. What a terrible place for that. I mean, you could have let go of the bee if you wanted to, if there's a bee in his last one. Okay, let's see where Bumper Cave takes us. Oh, we get 2 entrances out of this. That's pretty gross. Let's see what we got here. Connector's like, okay, I guess he's gonna follow it. I get the hesitation because, like, if you jump down, you're never following this connector. But if this, like, leads to, like, Bonk Rocks or something, you can't go back in.
I was just thinking with that cave, we haven't found Spike Cave yet, have we? Unless I missed it.
Oh, hey, look, we ended up on the west part of the mountain.
At least now we finally have all these entrances.
Yeah.
Would be nice if we had the hook shot, but at least the mirror will get us over the top.
Ah, a fully clearable Thieves Town.
Yeah, you definitely full clear it.
We don't know whether it's a pendant or a crystal, but we will find out.
Might as well put a prediction on that.
Do they let you put odds on predictions? If not, maybe they should, because, like, we're only missing 1 pendant. So odds are this is a crystal.
I mean, the viewers put odds, basically, by, you know, if it's less likely that it's a pendant, fewer people should bet fewer points on pendant. And
there you go.
It's basically supposed to determine its own odds. Hey, there's an ice small!
In-chest ice small key. Oh, and there's half magic. The fear ratio would have...
Fear would have really liked that for Cold Stare.
Okay. So, what I was about to say is that the nice thing about this is even if it is a pendant, he'll have all his pendant and crystal knowledge after he finishes his dungeon. And if it's a crystal, then he just gets his crystal. So, no matter what, finishing this dungeon is good. Even if you don't get any actual needed items out of that. We did get a useful item out of that in that half magic. No one's going to turn that down when it's free like that.
Yeah, especially given how much trouble we've been having getting magic fills.
Yep. We'll see if Barnage thinks to go to Turtle Rock Bridge.
Starting back at these checks, just a compass of swamp. That's pretty useless.
That is probably the most useless compass in the game. Hey, you've not done left side swamp by the compass. You know?
Or the big chest.
Yep. Barnage, also remembering that there's a 5-item cave here, is going to be disappointed to find out that it's a 5 awful items, or completely useless items. Actually, he's down to 1 bomb, so I think there were some bombs in here, so it could be worse.
Or else money to buy bombs.
Yeah, there are the bombs. Ooh, a small key to desert. That is a fetch quest small key.
I mean, it gets us 2 items since we've found the front.
Okay, it's a double fetch quest small key. Rupees in the big chest. It is nice, though, when you can enter Thieves Town and not have to worry about orphaning that location.
And Desert Small is logically required to be desert.
Because otherwise, you could use the pot key in a bad way and lock yourself out of the boss.
Which I've seen runners do if they really want those 2 items in the front, especially if, one of them turns out being important and they don't want to save scum the key.
Not unusual to see runners just steal that small key. Today we did not have that option because we have not found the back of desert. Barney, did you forget you don't have real boots? Just a quick accidental mirror. We'll just call it an accidental mirror.
Line gets away from fear a little bit, but 13 hearts blue mail, not too concerned.
That's fine. Ganon's Tower small key, probably irrelevant. 3 GT small keys means that unless you are really weird and open up that middle door, you can't possibly, you'll be able to get to everything. Not everything will be in logic yet, but in that situation, you don't care. Of course, we haven't found Ganon's Tower yet.
And by the way, Tracy, the actual odds for what... And you were saying about we haven't found Ganon's Tower yet?
Yeah, there it is.
But the actual odds for Pendant, Crystal... silver's nice. But we need real boots for those. The actual odds were, 80-20 and chat placed 72-28 odds, so it worked out pretty close.
There you go. Well, maybe we'll find boots in here. We could sequence break the left side, but we'd have to do it with bomb jumps, which is, I think most runners will do bonks with boots to sequence break the left side. I'm not sure as many runners are as keen on using bomb jumps to sequence break the left side, but we'll do the right side first. Barnage finds the potion shop and decides, you know what, let's buy some potions and hope to never come back here. He's gonna let go of his B. I think he's
like what Fear did.
Yeah, Fear only bought 3. He was apparently too lazy to let the B go. Barnage also doesn't buy all 4 potions, but did let the B go.
Well, Tile Room has money to buy more potions.
I mean, the only way the runners are going back to that location is literally if we find a mushroom and have to turn it in.
Too bad we can't fake mushroom with the powder.
I know, right? Why is that?
You know, run out your magic, try to use Savaria, then try to powder the witch, and they'll think you turned in the mushroom.
So this is one of those rooms that's behind all the GT smalls.
Hera big, and since we still don't have the hook shot, that's our key for getting up Hera.
Yeah, we can now full clear Hera, and we can do it logically even.
And of course, Hera was pretty early on, so easy enough to get back to. You're remembering he cannot bonk here.
Okay, Barnes is gonna find his Thieves Town and get some nice goodies, but mostly just a crystal.
Now, that room we were just in is the one place you can actually do a bonk jump. And by the way, there was our 4th TR small, so Trinex is now actually in logic. I wonder if that incentivizes Fear to do it, even though we know there's nothing on it. Oh, and Fear didn't even bonk that gap.
Oh, can you bonk that gap?
Yes, that gap is small enough. It's the one gap you can bonk with pseudo boots.
Oh, that's good to know. Of course, I don't usually play with pseudo boots because I'm not in league, so...
Oh, Zeruvian is saying there are others. Oh, right, TR Big Chest, which I think maybe one of the runners even did. Because that's not even, like, a gap, that's just kind of moving to the side.
Oh, there's that last pod small. Red mail.
French vanilla.
And Fear Agent is choosing not to do the bonks. Not the bonks, the bomb jumps to go to the left side. Also choosing not to climb. I don't blame him for not wanting to climb. I want to say, did we ever see Uncle? Is that what's behind GT?
I think so, because I don't remember seeing Uncle.
Which is the worst thing to have behind GT. I mean, the well's bad, but like the Uncle, anywhere else you can just get it. I always want to see the Uncle at Lumberjack. Because then I get the 2 items, I don't have to ever worry about climbing Aga Tower.
Yeah, so we are still gonna need that second CT small as part of our go mode.
We are gonna rescue the old man, so we get 2 new start spots. And of course, the old man does not like us to go into other entrances while we have him with us. So Fury Agent had to turn him in before we could check the other entrances.
I mean, it was his choice to pick up the old man.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Vortex.
Hey, there's that back of desert. Too bad we don't have the big key.
Yeah, that's another bad spot for something. Yeah, I agree with Vortex there. The best drop downs are Vanilla Cannon and Uncle Castle Tower.
And instead we have
exactly the opposite.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to word that. Thank you.
Okay, Fear Agent gonna go into the Dark World and remember that there are 2 entrances here. And that one's pretty useless. Chess game. That could be something. Get our money back and we get a shovel.
Fetch quest!
Ooh, okay. Well, I mean... No, I mean, I'm not sure that's even better than nothing. Because now we have to go to the shovel spot.
I mean, easy save and quit to Link's house. You just have to, you know,
It's not
wait for when you're next ready to save and quit.
Now the mushroom turn, in this case, the mushroom turner is worse just because of where the magic shop is.
Still haven't seen the book, so we can't pull Ether Tablet.
Yeah, book's also a bad one. Okay, nothing there.
And we've already filled our jars, so no point in tossing a jar in there.
Fear has that one with the bee in it. He could have tossed it.
And he'd release the bee, and the fairy would give him another bee.
Probably. I mean,
we all know how that goes.
Yeah, unfortunately, those dead rocks in a spot where can't quite see floating island. Okay, just 20 rupees. So when we find that connector, we don't care. We won't need to mirror and check. Now Barnage now going to do the same GT checks. And yeah, we have this one last entrance that we got distracted from because we found a good connector.
Yeah.
I think that's all we can do here. And it's just a map.
Chat talking about a lead. Yeah, to the extent Fear has a lead, it really comes down to he got the mirror sooner and therefore the glove sooner as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I call it a lead so much as like I don't like to use the term lead until, you know, the path is pretty obvious where we're going to go. Oh, look at this entrance.
Ooh.
Starting point at desert. He's definitely got an advantage. But way too much of the game left to play to call it anything more than that. And that was a whole lot of absolute nothing. And we haven't found Myra access, for instance. Like, we haven't found a connector there. We don't have flute or bits. And we need both if we don't get a connector there.
We also haven't found the entrance to Eastern.
We're going to check. Here's a new entrance here. Pick up the rock, and what do we get? Spike Cave. We can do this.
Yeah. Plenty of magic for using the cape if we wanted to, though we're kind of low on it. But Fear's just gonna cheese it with a potion and a lot of hearts.
Yeah, you don't need to use an invincibility item if you're gonna like. As it turns out, 14 hearts is enough to do it without any magic use. And so once he filled his health with the bottle, he was gonna be fine. Now we're gonna get this other exit. Maybe this will take us to Misery Mire. Trying to think what other. I think we've seen all the other. I think we've seen all the. Oh no, we haven't seen.
Did Barnage think he could like somehow get across that gap if he had the cape on?
Maybe. And here we are, Misery Mire. So we do still have at least one entrance that needs to take us to a floating island.
We have several to check here in Mire.
He's going the vanilla way. Exciting.
But that means he hasn't done Big Chest yet.
Well, I mean, he just has to remember to do it after he does after he does the items behind the ice armos.
You mean in the vanilla routing if you're full clearing? I didn't. Oh.
There's Eastern, which we don't have a big key to. No, we do have a big key to.
Yeah, we did.
That was at a race game.
Race game.
So it's always nice to be able to get into Eastern and be able to full clear it.
Yeah, and thank you to our astute trackers catching that Mire's ether because I missed that.
Well, here's a fun part for Fear Agent. Barnage knows that Pyramid Fairy is unnecessary. Fear Agent doesn't know that. So we could see a Pyramid Fairy check.
Fear Agent also now has the book.
Yeah, it was very recent.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first chest of Eastern.
Right.
I was just commenting.
There's those silvers.
Yeah, Fear, you don't have the hook shot.
Yeah. I mean, if Mire turns out to be our last pendant, or if we get real boots, we might never find the hookshot. So we don't necessarily need it for Swamp.
Now, what if Boots and Hookshot are both upstairs in GT?
That would be awful.
Because neither runner wanted to climb, and another difference between entrance and main branch is that those first two chests upstairs in Mini Helma Room are not logically behind any small keys. So they're in logic.
You need a bow, and you need a fire source.
And the big key, of course.
And the big key, of course, yeah. Oh, there's the mitts.
So that was very definitely behind the other gloves.
Yep. So that
So
double dip ice pal is hard required.
yeah. Speaking of which, now we can check things like the Vanilla Ice Palace entrance.
Yep. I mean, let's see.
Turtle Rock entrance.
Turtle Rock. Yeah, Turtle Rock entrance. What other... I think we... Oh, Skullwood's back. We still need Skullwood's back. Trying to figure out if there was a dungeon we were still missing. Because we just found Desert back. We just found Eastern.
Right. Yeah, I think Skullwood's back, and we still don't know that could be a pendant.
It could. We do... I think we have the map for it, but again, nobody map checks anymore. So far, that book is the only thing of note in Eastern, though. Oh, right, and the mitts. The book and the mitts. We got... Oh, great, they were in the big chest, so... Okay, let's see if there's anything on Armos Knights.
Yeah, so the mitts were actually directly locked behind the mirror since we needed to mirror to get the Eastern Big Key from Race Game.
Fear Agent not starting out the Armos fight the way he'd like. He's gonna recover relatively nicely, but is not gonna be able to get a quick kill. I mean, unless he...
Don't run out of arrows. I mean, yeah, you can always do
unless...
burn strats or whatever, but...
Okay, map of ice, we can find out. Well, actually, that's not a bad map to pick up.
When we go back in there, we'll know immediately whether it's a pendant or crystal.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would check the map if I were Fear and actually do a map check and see if Ice Palace is a pendant, and then if it's a pendant, I just never go back.
No,
he's not going to do that. We do get the Mire entrance. But yeah, I mean, Barnage is basically following Fear Agent everywhere. The big difference being that Barnage, they both have double dipped ice without finishing it. In very different ways.
There was the entrance to Old Man Cave.
Yep. The big difference here is Barnage finishing up Turtle Rock. And Fear Agent hasn't done that. Oh, there's our, there's Skullwood's back.
And it's a crystal.
Okay, so what do we need at this point? We need a Castle Tower small key for sure. We might need the Desert Big.
We might need either boots or hook shot.
We might, yeah, right. We're gonna need one of either Desert Big or at least one of Desert Big or boots/hook shot for Mire. They can't both be pendants.
And for all we know, ice is the last pendant, and they're both crystals.
Yep. In which case, we need both of the things. And Barnage is climbing. This is spicy.
Yeah, that could be something.
If we're correct, it's 6 items. Whereas the Skullwoods was a single arrow.
Does Barnage Moldorm bounce?
Good question. I don't know. So for him, it's 3 items for sure. And Moldorm... see, this is the problem. Even if you do Moldorm bounce, you're orphaning that chest.
True.
Like, when are you ever going back for that?
Right, if you hover, like if you have the boots and hover it, you can at least defeat Moldorm and then hover to the chest.
Right. I know, I'm pretty certain Barnage is not a hoverer though. Okay, what are we doing now, Fear? I mean, he has full-on Dark World access. Where are we going? Going over to the potion shop. That was Hera, right? Yeah, he's gonna do Hera. That totally makes sense. That big Hera, big key. Very nice Moldorm 2 kill, but Barnage is probably gonna have to. Yep, he's gonna have to use that bottle. The small potion refills. Maybe not. I mean, I guess if you don't use your cane for mana, I guess you'd probably have enough with the lamp if you do lamps for all the torches in Torches 1. And then you get the refill for Torches 2. I'm actually not sure. But he's got 3 bottles of blue, might as well just use it. So we're gonna have a hook shot in Hera, just to, make it so that we can't Hera pot no matter what. We are gonna get a bomb jump here. So far, the answer is no. Okay, the completely in logic chests. A map. A heart container.
Meanwhile, what are we getting out of Moldorm here, assuming... Okay, there we go.
Heart piece.
And Barnage is going for the Moldorm bounce.
He's going for something. Yeah.
And Fear gets Skullwood's big in crystal number 5.
Ooh, everybody's favorite fetch quest.
At least we know that Skullwoods is pretty easy to get to.
Yeah, especially with myths. And the Sank starting point being in the in the Lost Woods.
Now Fear's gonna give some time back to Barnage because we know Hera Basement's junk.
Right.
I can't believe Barnage is doing this for 2 items.
Yeah, it's...
And
orphaning.
Orphaning, right.
Here. That's, I think the bigger issue is the orphan. Like, if this item on Moldorm 2 is important, he's never getting... Like, I don't know when you ever come back here.
Yeah, gambling 2 items against 1 seems pretty risky.
I mean, Fear Agent...
Oh, look at Fear with his spin speed.
I love this. Fear Agent will be able to hover this if he gets boots for it. And so he has 2 items that will allow him to get this chest.
Show off.
That was like, it was like everything in super speed. Yeah, Fear Agent showing us when quick swapping is not actually fast. Just standing there and quick swapping to the item.
Okay, so we're gonna go back into ice now and finish that off. It's in logic.
Yeah, I mean it's an item.
Oh, and Barnage gets the
Moldorm
Moldorm bounce. Nice. What was that, like 3rd try or so?
Yeah, got it pretty quickly. I hope for his sake that the Moldorm 2 chest is nothing and that maybe he gets something good out of Uncle here.
I mean, it could totally swing the game if he gets something good out of Uncle, but, I mean, maybe boots? What else is there that we're really looking for? A Desert Big?
It won't be the hook shot.
That's for sure.
Meanwhile, I thought maybe Fear Agent was going to go turn in that Skullwood's big key immediately, but it looks like he's got other ideas. Going to do some myth checks. Do hammer pegs, maybe grab the smith.
Nice triple-double for Barnage.
Get to see that every day, and a lot of times Agatu just says no to it. Yeah, that's a whole lot of nothing at hammer pegs.
But yeah, now you can actually do the Smith chain and loop in a Bombos check.
Okay, big moment on Maximum Barnage's side. Art piece.
Seems pretty unlikely that this is going to be anything, but you never know.
Okay, to be determined.
Right, we still don't know what TR Medallion is or what that entrance is,
exactly. So that's, God,
I mean,
that's not what you hope to find there. It's also not what you hope to find in the Smiths, $5.
What are we still even looking for in terms of it? I mean, I guess there are a few entrances that have items. We know where all the dungeons are.
Yeah, some runners are really good about keeping track of all the entrances that have items and whether they found them or not. I'm not.
Okay, ice is a crystal. And Mire is a crystal, so by process of elimination, desert is a pendant.
Okay, so we don't care about the pendant big key, but we do care about boots or a hook shot to get into Mire.
Right, and then we need CT small.
Right, which is the ultimate ice rod.
Yeah.
Because the problem with the CT small, and it's worse in cross keys, although it's only one item worse. It literally can be in 216 locations.
Yeah.
Whereas in a regular seed, it can be in 215 locations because it can't be on Lumberjack. But yeah, if you're looking for Castle Tower Small to get to Ganon, there's no items there, so that leaves all 216 items locations.
New in League
available.
Season 6, True Ice Rod Hunt.
Well, Sinak would like that.
To answer chat, Pet has not been checked. We haven't done anything with the book yet.
Yeah, the book is pretty recent. In fact, Barnage is going to get his book relatively soon, because he'll find Eastern in a second. But yeah, Pure Agent now is half magic, and I believe he still has 2 bottles of blue at least. So he's not going to have any trouble having enough magic for Cold Stare.
And Hookshot or Boots could be on Cold Stare for all we know.
Good.
You know, since we found big key and one small key, Cold Stare's in logic with Samaria. Almost did it entirely with the fire rod.
Wasn't quite. Oh, there's a hook shot.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it doesn't quite keep the pulse in the corner, but it doesn't matter. We got a hook shot, and I imagine if you're Fear Agent, I would beeline to Misery Mire.
Watch CT Small be either in Misery Mire or on Post Moldorm Chest.
Oh, don't put it on Post Moldorm 2 Chest.
I know, that would be cruel. I mean, but I think Fear has a serious advantage here because he is now just CT Small from Go mode.
I mean, it is, again, it is the worst Go mode in the game. Although Boots, I always call Boots the worst Go mode because you're looking for things without boots, but here we have pseudo boots, so. The boots can relegate to a fetch quest. Well, a bunch of fetch quests, because you have like 4 entrances, but none of which we've seen out of connectors, so.
Oh, yeah, chat pointing out that, short of Armos Shake storage, we do need boots to get to Ganon.
We need boots, that is true.
And
we've
probably want to grab silvers at that point.
And given that Fear Agent has killed all the Armos Knights, I don't understand how that trick works at all, but I think you have to have Armos Knights to kill to do it.
Can you do it on Ice Armos?
He's killed the Ice Armos.
Yeah, but they respawn.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, maybe.
So there's Barnage's mitts.
Small key to Hyrule Castle that we don't need.
So close! We tower, not sewers.
Yep. Yeah, this is a rough position for Barnage, because one of the one of the places that a CT small could have been that might have really helped him out is if he found one on the GT climb. And not only did he not find one, the one location left is one. If it's there, he's just never going back.
Boots could be there too.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Fear Agent probably does hit GT again relatively soon, because with that hook shot, he can also do the left side.
We also have back of swamp now.
I'd rather do GT left side.
Yes, GT left side has a lot more items. But if GT left side doesn't get us anything...
Yeah, and of course swamp is in a better location. Like, our mountain access is not exactly ideal. Except now we have a flute.
Flute in mire.
Flute in mire. Not something you could see. I mean, unless you're playing SMZ3, you're not seeing that in a normal randomizer.
Okay, so Barnage is now getting the information about ice and mire, so he knows also. And I think he had Skullwoods on that as well. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain the runners by now. I remember Fear Agent specifically getting the map. I imagine Barnage got it as well. Because lately he's been trailing Fear Agent's path with a few detours. Oh, and there's that mushroom.
Yay!
We might get to see the potion shop again. At least
we haven't done
flute.
Shovel Spot, have we?
No, we haven't. At least with the flute, though, the actual turn-in part of the mushroom is extremely easy.
Well, if there was any question about whether Barnage knew back of Skullwoods, he definitely does now. Oh, CT small.
CT small right there in Misery Mire. That's go mode for Fear Agent.
Well, Boots.
Oh, Boots. No.
Unless he wants to do Armos Shake storage off of Ice Armos.
Nope. We're looking. So that the other bad go mode item. At this point, though, let's see. Yeah, so that's his last crystal. Vanilla GT entrance, anybody? You don't see that required very often, but it's not impossible that it could be.
Yeah, I've seen a situation where Castle Tower was where Ganon was behind Castle Tower, and the second CT small was on Pendant Argus, and the dam was in GT spot.
I've had vanilla. My favorite was I've twice had vanilla GT into vanilla Ganon. Second time was an inverted mode. I also had a similar one where it was, I think it was Mitz in GT, vanilla GT location to get the last Castle Tower small key in some Mitz lock location.
Oh, Fear only has 2 arrows. He's gonna have to play ping pong here.
You know, it's funny because if we recall, I talked about we haven't found this anyway. The pyramid, the ferry upgrade location. And he talked about I don't care about the 35 arrows, only the extra bombs. If we had found the ferry upgrade location, you probably could have used those arrows.
So that is 7 crystals for Fear, and we're not actually in go mode.
Nope. Okay, so you activate. I think if you're Fear Agent right here, you activate the flute, you head back to the mountain, do some GT, maybe check at the entrance. Barnes is going to go ahead and finish Ice Palace here. I think that's a good play for him. I'm trying to think what could Barnes do to get himself back into this. Like, where could those boots be that... I mean, I guess
you're gonna quickly check Bombos, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, do this and then head over to the mountain. Because this is totally out of the way. Might flute and turn in that mushroom. Or not. Actually, he has to first activate the flute.
Yes, that would help.
That would help.
That would also give us better mountain access.
I feel like that was a whoops. This is not vanilla.
Yes. How about you activate the flute?
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the mountain. There's the rest of GT for Fear Agent. There's the actual GT entrance for him. There's the Ether tablet. Potentially, we don't know. He doesn't Bombo, so we don't know what the Turtle Rock entrance is, but that could be an entrance that he can do.
To answer chat, Boots could be on Ped, but in that case, we'd need to find Desert Big first. So we kind of don't want to find Desert Big.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I wonder if Fear is going to check Skullwood's big chest before heading to the mountain.
Oh yeah, we do have that big key sitting on the library.
Oh yeah. That's swamp or desert, I think.
Yeah.
Are the keys we have left, so it's not one we care about necessarily. The swamp key we almost certainly don't care about. Okay, where is he going? Oh, he's just gonna go ahead and do Castle Tower. Okay, yeah, I mean...
Why not? Maybe he wants to do Armo Shake storage. I mean, not that Master Sword Silverless Ganon is great. Also gives him some time to think about what he wants to do next.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do this at some point anyway. The fact that he didn't beeline it says that he is very well aware that he needs those boots. GT is on West Death Mountain. I forget exactly which cave, but it's over there. To answer chat.
So, there is Barnage's hook shot. Oh, looks like there's a
descent. Okay.
Looks like there's a misclick on the tracker. Swamp got marked instead of ice.
I mean, they're both water dungeons.
Right. I mean, I confused them.
Of course, the argument, I guess it doesn't matter. The nice thing about this, I suppose, is that Library Big Key was on the top of Hyrule Castle, and he'll have a really easy path to get that if it becomes relevant, because he'll have the portal at the castle, and then he'll just be able to mirror on top of the pyramid.
One more prediction if you want to waste your channel points. Blue balls. Tracy, how many do you think we're gonna get?
I always say 3 because 3 is like the high percentage number or whatever.
Yeah, the median certainly. 10 out of 32 chance.
Library Big Key can't be used.
Yes.
Slots. Okay.
Right.
So...
It is relevant to the extent that if it is Desert Big, then boots aren't on Ped.
Yeah, there you go. And if we find the Swamp Big Key, then we'll know that. Yeah, Wood Force always keeps me in check.
There's one blue ball. So Barnage will also be in boots mode when he gets his Castle Small here in Mire.
Yeah, I mean, if he can manage to finish Mire, well, he still has to do Castle Tower, so he's going to be a Castle Tower behind. But if he can manage to find the boots enough before Fear Agent does, then...
Well, there's your 3, Tracy, by the way.
Yay, 3. Always 3. And we're gonna flute away somewhere.
I love how Twitch censors predictions, so I can't actually write blue balls in the prediction.
Yeah, there's some interesting things that Twitch doesn't like.
I've run into other things, and I can't even remember what they were that Twitch wouldn't let me put in prediction questions.
So chat pointing out Barnage also still needs to do Hera. With that flute, that'll make it easy to get back there at least. And he'll probably turn in that mushroom. In fact, the mushroom might be the spot that Fear Agent doesn't go to anytime soon. And if that were the boots, might be the spot that if Barnage goes to it faster. That might be the thing that could get him into this. Because he's definitely going to turn that in when he goes to do Misery Mire. Oh, there's your big key to desert.
Oh, no, okay, so it's swamp on the library, so we don't care about that big key at all. That, one item that we're never going to be able to get. That, therefore, boots aren't in swamp big chest. Woo!
I mean, the runners could choose to go back and get it. It's probably a sword, though.
Yeah, hoping for... Well, there's always a sword in swamp, as they say, right? There's always a sword in
swamp, right? Oh, hey, there's the last GT small to put everything in logic here. But now, if you're feared, do you climb right now, or do you do some of the other checks first? Oh, there's a sword.
Okay, so now... Oh, 2 swords in random room. Oh, boy.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, and fear not doing the climb.
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 items.
For the boots that we know are in post-Moldorm chest.
Yeah. That's just mean. We're gonna get a couple entrances from fear here. We do have at least 1 connector still outstanding because we have not found our way to the floating island. Not sure which one we're missing, though.
Yeah, and as we were discussing, there is GT entrance.
Arna's not even going to bother activating that flute to get over to Hera. It's just going to take the whirlpool. And we'll hopefully remember to turn in that mushroom, because that is... I think that's how he comes back in this, is if if it's the mushroom turn-in. And if he prioritizes it.
Bit odd that he wouldn't turn it in.
We haven't seen... There we go. That's the one we haven't seen, is Hookshot Cave. Which is good, because we didn't have the hookshot for most of the game.
We haven't... Oh! Interesting. Bombos for TR entrance.
There's another out for Barnage.
Which, as we know, is on Uncle, behind Aga 2.
Hey, speaking of Hookshot Cave.
Vanilla Hookshot Cave.
This has got to be double vanilla Hookshot Cave. This has to go to the floating island. Because I don't think we have any other connectors left. It also doesn't have our boots. Let's see if Fear Agent it looks like he realizes that this has to go to the floating island and is not checking it.
We haven't actually checked Skullwood's big chest yet, have we?
No, I don't think we have. We're gonna check the GT entrance. Not every day we see this required.
We basically have a whole lot of one-offs at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the densest spots are back a swamp, and for Fear Agent, he still has GT climb, with 1 item outstanding that we could not see on Barnage's side. This is an item cave.
Graveyard ledge.
Oh, there they are. Wow. So Boots in Vanilla GT.
So at 208.53, Fear is in go mode and will be going immediately to Ganon.
Yeah.
Not every day you see a runner go immediately to Ganon on getting their go mode, especially when it's not a sword mode go mode.
I mean, it happens in cross keys. Much more than any other mode.
So to the Pseudo Boots haters, would you really want to have seen the runners play this entire seed walking?
Yes.
And Fear's decided that since he has Butter Sword now, he's not even going to bother grabbing silvers.
I mean, Butter versus Tempered only matters in the first 2 rounds anyway, but I think the amount of time, I think at best it would even out. Like, with the flute, the GT entrance is not horrible. But what does Silver say, like 30 seconds or so? And that's got to be about what it would take to flute over there.
25 to 50, depending how good you are at triples.
You are, right? Yeah, so, I mean, the amount of time it would take to flute to the mountain, go into GT, get the silvers, mirror out, and flute to wherever. It feels like it, at best, would come out even. I think if the Boots had been in GT, I think you just mirror to the front and you go grab the silvers. Yeah, we found the silvers in your tower.
we found them, we just didn't get them. Here, watch out. I mean, you do have red mail, but even so. You could use one of those blue goos, you bought so many of them.
I think he's got 2 left still.
There we go. That didn't quite make it. Must be getting up to like 10.
Yeah, in the end, the big differences here in this race, Barnes clearing all of Turtle Rock, and then doing a GT climb, neither of which ended up being necessary. You can see he's kind of on the same path.
Yeah.
Get your GGs in chat for Fear Agent and the Divine Beastie Boys finishing up with an official race time of 2:12:03.
They're like this season's Fendrana Drifters. They're 11-0 now.
I mean, it's a good team. Sounds like we have Fear Agent joining us. GG's.
Yeah, thank God for Pseudo Boots.
Yeah, Drosy asked if those of us that don't like Pseudo Boots would have wanted to see walking, and I joked and said yes, but I'm still not a fan of Pseudo Boots, but no, I think in reality, walking that entire seat would have been awful.
I routed. I ranted, let me say, about Pseudo Boots. I didn't think it was a good inclusion, Drosy, but I'm so glad I had Pseudo Boots this seed, because Go Mode Boots is awful, and especially where they were in that pretty hilarious location.
Well, how about we're pretty certain, and you must have realized this because you didn't check it, the totally vanilla hookshot cave.
Oh, right.
Before going to GT vanilla entrance.
Yeah, I felt really bad about the mirror, and then I felt really bad about ice. So here's what happened that second time I went back to ice, is in my mind, I had Bombos. So I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter that I don't have that much magic.
Sorry to interrupt, but Barnage just realized he can't bonk
Yeah.
Lumberjack Tree, and that's what leads to his forfeit now.
Yeah, that's rough.
So let's get the forfeit mark so we can have him in here to discuss as well. But sorry to interrupt. Continue, Fear.
Yeah, no problem. I felt really bad because again, I thought in my brain I had bombos, so it didn't matter that I didn't have enough magic. And so after that moment, and the swamp dip, by the way, that also didn't work out. I felt awful the rest of the seed, and I'm just like waiting for it to end. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second, I just need boots. What is this? And I thought if I did the climb, I was like, the boots can't be on the climb because I feel like I'm going to lose if the boots are on the climb. And yeah, and I wanted to check the GT entrance because how often do you get to do that in a cross keys?
I know, right?
Like pretty much never. So it worked out.
Usually, every time I've seen it outside of my 2 vanilla GTs into vanilla Ganons, it's always involved Castle Tower.
Yeah.
Either directly because of a small key, or in your case, the boots, or it's just something about the lumberjack check.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Like Barnage is searching the seed low and high. We should hopefully be able to get him in here though to talk about it, unless he's still searching.
He looks like he's he's ready to join.
Okay, yeah, he's in the waiting room here.
If you're hearing us on the restream, Barnage, just come on in whenever you're ready. Otherwise, I'll just type it in. Drossie's got it. There he is.
Okay. GG.
Yeah.
Did you find the boots in the end?
Well, that depends on how long we talk. If you find out.
Oh gosh, yeah. So
all I got from Fear Agent was they are in the worst place.
to be fair, there's actually a worse place it could have been. So Fear Agent, you talked about
hey, bad meringue on Ped, and the game definitely knows which is good and which is bad.
So yep. Fear Agent, you talked about how you would have lost if it'd been the GT climb. Well, that was partially true. There's exactly one chest that we did not see because Barnage did a Moldorm bounce. Very nicely done, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. To climb GT.
Yeah, when he said the worst place, that was where my mind immediately went. But I'm also like, no, I'm not going back there.
Yeah. I guess it's not the worst place. It's a really funny place. I think is probably a better.
Oh, it's a hilarious place. But yeah, like some of your outs, Barnage, would have been at Bombos at Uncle. It turns out that would have opened up Turtle Rock for you. So that would have been a good location for you, as it turns out. Fear, you never turned in mushroom, or I believe the shovel.
Yeah. Once I got, let's see, it was like coming out of Eastern or something. I can't remember. I was like, I just need to start clearing crystals and trying to figure out what the pendants and the crystals were. Mm-hmm. And so I went and did like Hera, and I think I got Eastern and Skullwoods done, and then Hera, and I was trying to figure out what my last pendant was, and then I saw Ice was a crystal, so I went back to that and got the hook shot, and then realized I could do Meyer, and then I had 7 crystals, and I'm like, and I got the CT small, and I was like, all right, let's go find the boots.
Yeah, what I will say about pseudo boots is that for every mode that we don't like for some reason, there's always a situation where you're very happy that the mode actually works out that way.
Yeah, I honestly like Fear finished, and I was like, okay, well, I got the 7 crystals. I'm not that far behind. And then like I bonked into that tree. I'm like, oh nope, I'm done. I just forgot that I didn't have the real boots.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple of moments where I think Fear. I'm not sure if there were any moments that I can recall, but there were one or two for you, Barnage, that you'd forgotten the boots.
They were a little less pseudo for me in my mind. So, but no, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on the whole pseudo boots debate. I thought it was gonna be like not great until I started practicing this mode, but I feel like the whole like soft bounce you get kind of makes most of the things evident that like you can't do. I just haven't played enough pseudo boots modes where I don't like still forget that sometimes. But
yeah, it makes sense. I think my biggest issue is just the early tracking is much harder when you have boots. I mean, granted, you could just have boots and have that happen.
Yeah.
I recently had a boots in Link's house in a cross keys, so that can just happen. But and the other issue, the other thing I don't like about it kind of turns the boots into a fetch quest item to some extent.
Speaking of the seed, yeah.
So yeah, see, this seed. But yeah, suddenly you have those 4 boots locations open to you if you get them late.
So I mean I pretty much knew this one was lost at the point at which I got the mirror. So like there wasn't much else to say after.
Mm-hmm. You both had
I made
adventures in Ice Palace. You want to tell Fear about your adventure in Ice Palace?
No, I mean I just made a play. I just like thought that I could delay going into Ice Palace until I had a glove, and I was like I only get really really punished for this if it's exactly the mirror here.
Okay.
Then
question for you.
So
I
guess something that leads to the mirror. Sorry.
You got the last pod small, and you left to go finish pod, because you did the right side. If you hadn't gotten the pod small, would have been just take a death warp and then just go back in.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't. I mean I knew it wasn't like pod in logic, but also I was like death warp's pretty slow. I can just save and quit. Like Ice Palace is kind of right there. I mean, like it was literal last. I mean, it was literal last location for me. Like I had nowhere else to go in the entire game.
Yeah, considering Fear's adventures in Ice Palace, which were much worse than yours.
Oh no.
I really think. I mean, you can watch it back or we can talk about it, but I think that the biggest problem you both did swamp into left side. In fact, I think you were one of you was behind the other. I forget who.
Yeah, I think Fear was in there slightly before Barnes, but you both overlapped in there quite a bit.
Okay.
But the Turtle Rock play, which Drossi swore up and down was going to lead to the mirror.
I mean, it gave you so many small keys and the ice rod, and
in the end, I think the Turtle Rock play and then the GT climb are the things that hurt you the most.
Yeah. I mean, I just I had to chase. I kind of knew that I was dead. If I mean, if you go into Ice Palace very early in this seed, like you just have it all. I mean, like it's all just right in front of you. I mean, I guess not even then, because like you have that extremely weird path to West Death Mountain.
Oh god, yeah, that was very odd.
Where you also needed the cape. I forget where the cape was.
Yeah, that was weird.
The cape was in Spec Rock, but I forget how you got there.
God,
okay. Yeah, that's right.
I don't remember either. I mean,
Spec Rock was, I want to say, Herf Shopping Mall or Ice Rod Cave was one of those areas.
Yeah, Ice Rod Cave Rock behind the glove is the verdict from Link Force.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Link Force is usually on top of these things, so I would trust her that she got that right.
I also had like 4 keys to pod and the big key pretty early, but I didn't want to go in without a sword because I already had some misadventures in the dark in Naga Tower. And then, of course, there's a sword in pod.
Yeah, you were running around with no swords while Barnage had 2 swords for quite a while. And then when you got over to the Ice Rod Cave area, you had no bombs.
Yep.
And you found the Brothers Connector and had no bombs.
Yep.
So that was an amusing point in the race. But you had mirror by then, so it wasn't so bad.
Yeah. And you can farm bombs right there too. So what I ended up doing.
Yeah,
well, there was the
rock,
right
the 50-50 rock.
Yeah, in front of Hype Cave.
And you got your second sword, but that was kind of you had this stretch where you just had run out of bombs.
Yep.
And I remembered you talking about the fairy upgrade cave in the match you called earlier today.
Yeah,
So I shouted that out. If you found it, you would have fought those bombs for sure.
For
I guess
sure.
We never found that.
I never found it. Where was the front of Turtle Rock?
Pyramid Fairy.
Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took all of the Turtle Rock exits trying to find a way. Like, out of getting into Ice Palace, or like, because it looked like there was so many good entrances to go to, and like the exits of the places I tried just didn't lead there today. So
yeah, I think in the end, Turtle Rock had a lamp for y'all.
Yeah.
That was it.
Swamp, I really thought Swamp was going to be the play with all the stuff that we had.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's kind of why I went there, and then it was empty and I felt so bad. And then you just kind of get funneled into Ice Palace to get the glove, and then the seed kind of opens up from there. But it was...
Sorry, have we talked about Crystal Roller Room yet?
Oh, do we have to?
Barnage probably doesn't even know, because I didn't see you mention that in the race room chat.
I mean, it was so long ago, I forgot. Yeah, I locked myself.
I forgot too.
I locked myself in Crystal Roller Room on accident.
Oh,
you were trying to punt the Samaria block to get you out of there. Props for that.
By the chest. Yeah. that happens.
You tried to bomb yourself out, released a fairy, but then grabbed the fairy.
Yeah, that was the best in terms of funniest part was the fairy. Like, you remember to drop the fairy so that it wouldn't revive you after the bombs got you, but then there was nowhere to go to avoid picking it up immediately. And then you just didn't have enough bombs to kill yourself at that point.
Yep, I'm glad everyone was able to see that. That was that added to the early frustration, because who got to the mirror first? I felt super late. Oh wow.
Yeah, by quite a bit. Because Barnage did Icebreaker, but then without a small key couldn't get any further, and it was a while before he went back into Ice after that.
Yeah, I thought about Icebreaker too.
He used all his pod smalls, doing everything but the back. Because by the time you got to pod, you had bow, so you could actually kill Helmasaur. Yeah. He went and cleared pod without the bow, and did everything. So he had no small keys left. So he needed another pod small key. So.
Yeah, it was the last location in the game for me.
Oh wow.
Which is, it's fine. I mean, like, I thought I might need to make a play in order to win this, and I tried, and it didn't work out. So
hey, look, you're about to get boots.
Yeah. Whoa. There we go.
Hey, GG for those boots. Fun times.
I really enjoy racing Barnage. It was fun. We talked about this a little bit beforehand, but we've done 4 ladder races or some sort of entrance, and we were 2 and 2 going into this race. So
there you go.
Yeah.
We still have a good time.
I pointed out that either like I beat Fear by like a minute or 2, or Fear crushes me by like 20 minutes. So I guess we know which one this turned out to be. So.
Yeah, and you don't have the swords that were in Rando Room. So swords in Rando Room.
Yeah, like I had already made a bunch of pretty heavy gambles to avoid going into Ice Palace, and so I just was doubling down on those pretty much the rest of the race, and that included just never going back to GT. So
yeah, I mean, as it turns out, there were swords, which is nice.
Yeah, I would have liked those.
You need the I mean, obviously, no one, I don't think. Well, that's not true. I do know a few people that actually really like to do the Master Sword fight. But most of them would not want to do it unless they know their opponent is also doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people aren't, so not exactly ideal to be doing the Master Sword fight.
So,
all right.
Can I ask Drosy, does this clinch us for first?
Probably.
That I haven't thought through, but I'm guessing.
Let's take a look. We could probably figure this out.
Well, if they split with you and you lose your remaining 2, I'd have to see who you're each playing next week.
Yeah, there might be some breakers, but I mean, you're heavily favored. A lot would have to go wrong.
Let's see. So this would put you guys at. It's already updated, Drosy. So you're 11-0. So So you could both end
playing leftovers next week and bottles.
So you could both end up at 11-3. That is.
Bottles playing 2 Pearl next week. So since 2 Pearl is likely to finish below leftovers, if Divine Beastie Boys were to lose out from here and Bottles on Empty were to win out, Bottles would get the tiebreaker for having 2 wins against leftovers, while Divine Beastie Boys would have 2 losses against leftovers.
Got it. Okay, so yeah, there's still some playoff seeding implications, so that's pretty cool.
Telling them that there's a chance.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was fun, guys. Thanks for calming. Thanks for restream and all that. GG's Fear again.
Yeah,
Hopefully we get to run it back on ladder, or maybe even
playoffs.
later in
Playoffs could be a thing.
league. Yeah. So, all right, I'm heading out. Have a nice night, guys.
All right, thanks, Barnage.
GG's. Yeah, I gotta eat dinner because I haven't eaten dinner. But this is my last league race for the season. So
because you and Randomizer, I know you're not a fan. So.
yeah, I'm not the biggest fan, and also the way we split it up is each one of us does four co-ops.
Mhm.
So I did the AD and the Retrance, and Gamma did the AD, and he'll do the Randomizer, and Ramon will do Retrance and Randomizer. So
Seems fair.
yeah, we just thought we'd split it up. So yeah, this is my last race until the playoffs, and feeling good about the season. 6-0. I don't think I've done that before.
Congratulations on that. So yeah.
Yeah, I was saying you guys are the new Fendrana Drifters.
No, we're the new Beastie Boys. They're gonna name it after us.
Oh, they're the old Beastie Boys, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Thanks for the restream, and thanks for the tracking link for us, and Lady Laura Linda. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.
All right, thanks, Fear. All right. I think that's it for tonight's races. We probably have some stuff on the schedule for tomorrow.
Yeah, let's give that a look.
Wow,
See if
we
it's
got a
gone
couple
changed.
races at 2 o'clock.
AM or PM? PM, okay.
PM. 2 o'clock PM, we have Team Jaime versus Potato Pouch. That'll be Ravis versus Magno. Ravis noting that Magno wants his revenge for the German tourney last year. Also at 2 o'clock, we have OK Game versus the Perfect Unadulterated Gaming Squad. That'll be 2C versus Airy.
Yeah, I think, again, I'd have to check, but I think Pugs would clinch a playoff spot with a win there.
Yeah, they're doing really well. At 6:40, we have Go versus Beats from the East. That'll be McMonkey versus Homemade Beer.
The match note on that is viewers are encouraged to drink every time the runners forget they have pseudo
I like
boots.
that. That's a good one. At 8:10, we have Begone Pot versus OK Dudes. That's T-Stew versus Telethar. And then at 9:42, for who knows why, we have TM32 God Route versus the Bomb Squad. That'll be Zeruvian versus F. Coughlin. And the note there is the race may start 2 minutes early.
And that has potential implications for teams trying to avoid relegation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. I know that Rick and I have been discussing certain relegation scenarios amongst his team and one of my teams. Oh yeah, and then there's your early morning one. There's a 7:40 a.m. race on Wednesday. The Turtle Rockers versus the Eastern Skippers. Definitely two Europeans playing that one. Malzenthalos versus Dr. Mario. So I won't be getting up for that one.
Fair.
But yeah, that'll do it for us. I'd like to thank everybody, Drossi, for co-commentating with you. Always a pleasure. Our trackers, Laura, Linda, and Linkforce. Trackers, always the MVPs. Can't do it without them. Our runners, if you're not already following them, go ahead and looks like Drossi already put the command in chat. So go ahead and hit those links and follow these guys. And of course, thank you to all of you out there watching. We'll see you at the next race.
Have a good night, everyone.